Bob, tell me a little bit about, this is the 30-year anniversary of the Rex Dockery plane crash, but tell me a little bit about Rex as a person. You got to know him.
Yeah, actually, that was a pretty unique time, not only for the university switching to a new coach, but for me switching chairs and moving into the position of media relations director for athletics. So I became really close with Rex and Wallene and the family because I was assigned to interact with football on a daily basis and kind of became a part of what they were doing. And, it was, to say exciting might be a word for it. Rex brought something very unique to us in that being from the state of Tennessee, being a Tennessee graduate, there's a huge UT base here in Memphis, so those people kind of gravitated to us because of Rex being one of theirs. And then, of course, Tiger fans took to him as being someone from the home state who was going to run their program. So he was very charismatic, very well liked, a unique character, a smaller man in stature than you would assume an offensive lineman would be, but a very fiery individual who I really enjoyed working with.
And tell me about him as a coach. You saw I guess the workings were in place where he was going to become a success that last year, but how did the players respond to him? What kind of coach was he?
Rex had this philosophy, and it went something like, coaches love coaches, coaches love players, players love coaches, players love players. And it was kind of, I assumed that was his idea of kind of a family unity, if you will. And he brought that spirit, and I think the players bought into that. And I see some semblances of that going on with the program now. But Rex felt that as long as everybody, coaches and players, were close and on the same page and liked each other and got along well, then the program would quickly move forward. And the first 2 years, no doubt, were a struggle as he transitioned from one regime to the next, from one group of players to his players. But his coaches all stayed with him. It was a solid base of assistant coaches, much the same as it is now. And you could see the players with every passing game, the differential in the score, the margin of loss got tighter and tighter and tighter, to where by that second year the Tigers were very competitive. By the third year they became the second most improved team in the nation in terms of win-loss.
And going back to the day, I know you were on campus. I think you said you saw him shortly before maybe he boarded that plane. Still a surreal day to recall?
Yeah, that entire, about a 2 to 2.5 week period there, as we did the plaque dedication this year, just a flood of memories came back in revisiting Wallene and Miss Greenhill and Pam Ferris, Russell. I had seen Rex that morning and did not realize he was heading to Lawrenceburg for the quarterback club luncheon that day. And so shortly after lunch, we got a phone call, our office did, from an individual from the middle part of the state asking if Coach Dockery by chance was in Middle Tennessee, to which I said, no, I'm pretty certain he's not. Just talked to him this morning. He didn't indicate to me at that time that he was going up there for that luncheon, and just assuming that he would have driven instead of flying on a short trip like that, my assumption was that he did not go, that he was there, and I said, no, there's no chance that he's up there. I just saw him a couple hours ago here in the office, and then it probably was not more than 30 minutes later, if that long, that another call came in, and almost simultaneously Charles Cavanero, our athletic director, got a call, and he picked up the phone and called me. About the same time I picked up the phone to call him and say, hey Charlie, is there a chance Rex is gone? And then about simultaneously said, hey, get on down here to my office, I think we got something going on. I went down to visit with him and told him that I had just talked to a state trooper who indicated that there had been a plane crash in the Middle Tennessee area, and was there a chance that some of our coaches and staff were on that plane. And Charlie said, well, I've gotten a similar call from the media in Nashville, but I think we may have an issue here. Get the coaching staff together. And so that's when I set out, and I think James Fox was the first coach that I found.
Yeah.
Because having finished the season, they were all gearing up to go on the road recruiting. Some had already left, and we got James in, and then started making calls to Roy Gregory and to Chip Wisdom and Rusty Russell and Jimmy Sharp, and trying to get everybody together and get them in the office that afternoon. And I think by later in the afternoon they came in. By that point in time, I believe Bob Patterson had already been to Nashville and was in the process of identifying the individuals. So it just became everything going into slow motion, and it was kind of it was going from that elation of having the season-ending victory over Louisville and on that frozen field there, and the second most improved team in the nation, and all of the enthusiasm that would be leading into the next season all ended so abruptly, and then it just seemed like there was this never-ending schedule of memorial services and funerals and traveling to, I remember getting on buses with the coaches to go to East Tennessee to attend Rex's funeral in Cleveland, Tennessee, and what a cold and crisp day it was, but it just kind of time stood still there for a while, and I don't know that we ever really got back during the month of December into a reality of what actually went on. It was it's hard enough to grieve for one person that you've become close to, but when you're grieving for 4 individuals that have been involved with your program, it became a very memorable time now. It still brings back that flood of sad memories.